Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining me for this session at Demand 2024. My name is Avishai. I'm co-founder and CEO at TrendDemon. And in the 10 minutes that we have, I wanted to speak with you about I think, very significant paradigm shift that we're seeing in the B2B go-to-market space and the transition from lead-based approach to account-based, and how that actually is reflected in the data that we have with buyer journeys. So let's get started. Before we dive in, just to give you a bit of context from where we're getting this information and insights and data. So TrendDemon is a website experience optimization platform for B2B and ABM marketers. So we're essentially tracking buyer journeys throughout the website, and we're looking at the engagement of those target accounts with content on their way to pipeline. We're able to consolidate different optimization tools on various different levels, from page, journey, sales, and analytics. But let's get started. So why is the traditional lead gen playbook failing? Essentially, what we are seeing in the data, and this is from the insights that we are collecting, and also from other research, is that, first of all, 84% of deals are actually decided before a buyer is actually even reaching out to the seller, booking a sales meeting, or engaging them in any meaningful way. This is from Carrie Cunningham's recent research. We're seeing this also in our data. So that means that buyers are actually exposing themselves only very late at the buyer journey. So we have an increasing of anonymity. So from our data, we're seeing that 6.3% of visiting accounts in 23 had identified contacts. So that means that somebody from that company filled up a form anytime on their journey. That is actually decreasing in 2024 to 5.3%. And there's also decreasing attention. So what we're looking at in terms of the buying group is that if in 23 we saw an average of 13 unique visitors visiting the website from each account that had a pipeline opportunity, having 51 sessions, reading 81 pages, that figure has dramatically dropped more than 30%. So we now see 9 people per account, 33 sessions, and 54 page reads. So we're actually battling with decreasing attention and increasing anonymity. That creates a significant challenge. On the upside, one maybe note of optimism that we are seeing in the data is that marketers are back investing in paid traffic. So we're seeing 120% increase in paid traffic in H1 24 compared to H1 23, and a 60% increase in organic traffic as well. So we're seeing now, I think, early signs of spring and kind of back to doing more active stuff after 2 years that were more on the defense side. So what does this all mean at the end of the day? The big shift, I think, that this data is telling us is that leads that for many, many years we were kind of relying on as leading indicators of GTM success are now essentially lagging indicators. And basically, we're seeing and we're reading all about the death of the MQL and the classic lead gen playbook. And that begs the question, so what are we doing, or what should we be measuring under which framework as a better way to predict and prioritize our GTM efforts? So we're talking about a paradigm shift from lead-based KPIs to account-based KPIs. I think this is a fundamental shift that many companies are now doing and transforming. And the 3 core questions that companies need to answer in order to really assess where their GTM is start with, first of all, the first question, and this is based on our own experience at TrendDemon and also working with our customers in 24. This is a playbook, and the playbook that I'll be sharing is actually a playbook that we've successfully been using during 24 in order to improve go-to-market ROI and performance. So the core 3 questions that we recommend asking in order to, first of all, understand where our GTM really is the first one: is our ICP aware of us? So it's a very basic question, but we see many times companies kind of overlook that, and they quickly rush to execution and activity before really understanding whether the ICP is really aware of that company. So the way that we're answering this is how many ICPs are visiting our website. The second question that we recommend asking is, does our content consistently engage them? And I think this really touches on the main topic of this talk, which is capturing attention versus capturing leads. Are we successfully capturing the attention of our ICP? So that's a very big question. And the follow-up to that, well, how do you do that? How do you really assess your success in capturing attention? And the last point is, do they actually understand our value proposition? Do they understand what we can do for them? Do they understand the problem well enough to want to engage with us also on the product level? So when we connect it all together, if we're looking at this new framework and this new mechanism for GTM, it starts out with a foundational layer that starts with having a clear understanding of your ICP. Who are we going after? Then we're looking at the positioning and offering. Do we have a clear positioning, or does our ICP and our audience, do they understand our positioning? And from there, we can move and ask the question, do we have enough content to consistently engage them? These are three fundamental questions that we here at Trendyman were kind of wrestling for the past 2 years to really understand whether we nail those points or whether we still have gaps. And many times, especially in earlier stages or when you have a new product into market, you rush into execution of playbooks before really finding out whether you have these bases covered. If we look at the top layer, these are the KPIs that we recommend looking at. The first one is account qualified or aware qualified accounts. So they're aware of our existence. We have EQA, which is going to be a more of a focal point that we're going to discuss in a minute. And then IQA, which are the intentful qualified accounts. And these are much better predictors of pipeline success. And when we put this on a chart, we actually see a very strong connection between accounts entering pipeline and the EQAs, those engaged qualified accounts. A much better predictor than the MQL, which really we've seen has very little connection to how successful we are at generating a new pipeline. And this is really what we're trying to do. We're trying to figure out these early leading indicators to help us, first of all, assess our GTM performance, to prioritize next efforts. Where should we be investing our time and effort moving forward to create the next pipeline? Here we have actual benchmarks from our data about how those conversion metrics look like across over 150 accounts that we're and companies that we're working with and websites that we're monitoring. So out of the 100% of visiting companies, only 48% will reach what's called proceed rate or proceed stage, which is read more than one page view. In between, we have engaged accounts, and that differs between accounts, between customers and different sellers, but they're on their way to high intent, meaning accounts that are not just engaged with our content, but they're also engaging with our product or product offering, or they're showing some purchase intent in addition to interest with content. The next two metrics I think are very critical to understand overall success, which is the conversion to pipeline. So we're seeing that out of the 100% of visiting accounts, 1.5% will transform into pipeline opportunities, and 0.6% will turn into closed won. So to sum everything up, if we're looking at preparing for 2025 and what are the focal points that we recommend paying attention to, it really is about paying and noting the fundamentals, the foundations, brand, content, and communication. So in some senses, we're kind of going back to basics there. Investing in first-party data and building your own audience and connection to your own audience, especially as in 2025, we're going to see the continuation of the deprecation of third-party cookies. We're going to have to be more self-reliant on our own data, our own audience, and our interaction with them. And the last point is really, how do we transform account-based signals into real actionable insights? And I hope that in this talk, I give you a few directions to explore. Would love for you to reach out and connect with me. I'm on LinkedIn. And feel free to come and check out Trendyman. We also have an offering for demand audience to try GTM Explorer as an offering to get those insights free of charge. So do connect with us and have a great event. Thank you very much.